Their aim is to win themselves a luxury holiday home. This is the story of what happened.
We are family.
Yeah.
No, it's over there. It's just
exactly. So we don't want to go down there. We need to go down there.
We've got to win. We can't come this far and just see it and not go home without it.
I wanted to win well. Can I go?
Yes. Come on, Rosie. Come on, 2 more, that's it. Rachel's last sprint.
That's just Steve, not even flying off the handle, just saying a comment.
Take it.
That's gonna go
Slow.
Slowly.
Oh my God. Stop. Keep going, Carol. Think of the apartment.
I just want to pull myself together and just get on. I just want today over with.
Welcome to Here Comes the Sun. This is the California beach resort on the Costa del Sol in Spain. 2 families are currently on the way out here, and they're both desperate to win a luxury home in the sun where they can come on holiday for 2 weeks a year, every year. Let's meet them. The Pearsons come from Tyne and Wear. This is Jim and his daughter Dawn.
Really excited. Yeah, I want to win this apartment, definitely. Yeah.
Going for it.
To the top.
And Dawn has a brother, Stuart.
Me and Stuart never used to get on as children, did we? We used to fight like cat and dog, literally.
Stuart's partner is Carol, and Carol has a sister, Elaine.
Oh, I think I'm going to be the weakest.
I think I'll be the weakest link.
I will. Because
So we're going to battle for the weakest position.
I can't swim. That's a letdown straight away. So it's going to be a big thing for me to get in the water.
And they are the Pearsons. The second family are the Morrises from Southampton. This is Ros and her husband Steve.
It could get a bit messy. But there could be a few scenes here and there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's between you and I'm not sure it'll be between yet, but it'll... Oh, I'm a burger.
Ros's sister is Alison.
I always look on the bright side of life and you always look on the black side.
Well, Ali's the optimist, but she's never right. Like, the sun will be out in half an hour and it won't be out for the next 3 days, so...
Alison is married to Trevor, and this is their daughter Rachel.
My daddy's girl more than her mummy's girl, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Probably.
You were, weren't you?
I did when I was little, I was, wasn't I? Definitely.
And they are the Morrises. On arriving in Spain, both families are shown the amazing prize that one of them will win.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful kitchen, isn't it?
It is beautiful, isn't
Fantastic, isn't it?
Ooh!
Come on, Carol.
It's just out of our price range, you know. It's not every day you get the chance to own a place like this. It's just amazing.
Would anybody like an aperitif?
I just really wasn't expecting it to be so perfect.
Like Christmas?
Wow! Jacuzzi in your bar. I just didn't realise it was going to be kitted out like this.
It's, you know, one of the best apartments I've ever seen. That is fantastic, isn't it? We're going to give it 100%.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at in the evenings. Look at the view you've got. That is fantastic, isn't it?
It's just the difficult bit now, you've got to win.
Yeah.
So bring it on.
So teams, what do you think?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Well, this is how you can win it. Over the next 3 days, you're going to face 4 different challenges that'll test your ability to work together as a team. Time you lose a challenge, you lose a player from the final, which could affect your chances of winning the apartment. So, let's get started with the first game. There's 2 taxis waiting at reception for you, and good luck, everyone.
Thank you.
For game 1, each family will have to find their way to 2 locations in a local area and return to the resort. The families will have a Spanish driver, a phrase book, and local maps to help them. The team that visits all the locations, having clocked up the least mileage, wins the game. So the families must find 2 local attractions, Plaza de Toros in Marbella and the tourist office in Mijas, and then they've got to get back to the resort. The maps they've been given are rather vague, but we've given our families a useful Spanish phrase book which will help them to direct their drivers. The Morrises make a quick getaway, and Steve is in charge of giving directions.
A la izquierda. Keep looking for signs, everybody.
Yeah, okay.
It definitely is Marbella.
But straight away, they hit their first problem. Are they on the right road?
E15. You see, is that any E15 and M340? So which one are we taking?
E15, Steve, any of these?
Pare.
Confused, Steve and Trevor ask the girls for advice.
Right, swap maps, have a look.
You look. Surely we head for Marbella as soon as you see a sign.
You do actually want that one.
Remember, it's not time, it's distance.
Yes, that's right.
Steve's right, it's distance that counts. But will the Morrises stop and check their maps?
Are we on track? This is the right road.
Yeah, yes.
The Pearsons are also off to a flying start, with Stuart and Jim oozing with confidence.
Absolutely certain we're going in the right direction.
Are you sure, Dad?
Absolutely certain.
Oh, yeah.
If we're not, it's down to us.
Yes.
All right.
Driver right.
No.
Driver right.
Jim's directing his driver in English, which can only add to the confusion.
Yes.
No, what is it? The other two.
Only one voice. Okay, driver, sorry.
Steve, remember if you want to talk to the driver, you've got to say driver.
Roz is also concerned about communication with their driver.
A la derecha. Gracias, driver.
Driver first.
I know a driver.
With their earlier confidence gone, the Pearsons seem to be as lost as the Morrises.
But where are we now? Where is the cross that says we're there now?
There, it's that big arrow, but that's where we started from.
I'm not there. We're on the right road.
Come on, baby.
Relief for the Morris family. They're on the right road, and what's more, they're nearly at their first location.
There it is. Oh, hold on. It's just on that sign. Just past it.
Well, nearly.
Can we look for street names, girls?
Yes, I've got it. Are
No, girls.
All right, I'll work.
Outside.
No such problem for the Pearsons, who are approaching the bull ring.
Right.
Is that the door? Look for the photograph now, please.
That's it there.
So the Pearsons make it to the Plaza de Toros and clock up 25.3 kilometres in the process.
That's it, that's the road, right. We've got to go.
Meanwhile, Steve's using a few words he didn't pick up in his Spanish phrase book.
Todo recto, a la derecha, todo recto.
That's good.
What was that?
Well done, Steve. You sound like a Spanish
Straight on,
man.
but to the right a bit, mate.
Did you say that? Seriously?
Don't expect a tip.
That's it. Steve, here.
The Morris family also make it to the Plaza de Toros. And they've clocked up 25.7 kilometres, so there's only 0.4 of a kilometre between the two families.
Stop flapping.
The Pearsons have changed their lineup, with Dawn joining Stuart in the front and Dad Jim taking a back seat.
Stop going wrong, me and Dawn will have a fight. I love you. No, I think you're doing very well. Both
teams are on their way to the next location, which is the tourist office in Mijas.
Has anybody started to try and find the tourist office on this map?
It's on there. We found it. About an hour ago.
Whereabouts?
Family tensions are beginning to show between the highly competitive Steve and his wife Roz.
Hopefully.
Steve is always bossy.
What do you mean?
When we're lost, you're always bossy.
I'm not bossy.
We're not lost.
I just want to be clear.
Zaragoza.
But the Pearsons' mood is very different.
Family.
There's a dance started.
I think this is a bit of a man event, really.
No.
I think it is.
While Steve manfully guides the Morrises to their second location.
Estación aquí, por favor.
Oh, Steve. Like that now you're showing
No,
off.
I'm not. I'm reading the words on the sheet.
Oh, you're lucky you can read them.
Gracias, Barry. Come on, girls.
Thank you.
Rach, Tori,
Yeah,
you
that's
got
right now. I've got it.
The Morrises successfully find the second location, having clocked up 59.8 kilometres.
That's it there.
Is that it there then?
Yeah. If you can park on the left.
I'll park on the left, driver.
The Pearsons also reached their second destination, and they have only clocked up 59.1 kilometres, so they lead the Morris family by just 0.7 of a kilometre. Will the Morrises be able to close the gap on the final leg home?
So we've got to do. We've got to face that way. You're quite sure. You're quite happy with that. We go back up to them. We go straight back down.
Not a quicker way, Trev.
And while the Morrises are unsure of their way back to the resort, the Pearsons try to bond with their driver.
Come on, Tilly Amas. Perdone? Leo.
Thank you, Leo.
Hey,
As in DiCaprio. Cheer for Leo.
And new teammate Leo drives the Blues past the red team.
Trev, we've got to find a quicker way. The blue team have just
No, we don't want to find it because we won't get there.
but they have just passed us.
We're on our way, on our way. Where?
While the Pearsons confidently race home, all is not well with the Morris family.
What I'm lost with is where that is.
Where that is.
We went
up
on,
here.
We
up
went
there.
on the motorway.
We've gone up there.
Finger Road or where?
Right here, driver, and next right, driver.
The Pearsons are nearly home, but sadly, the Morrises have taken a wrong turn.
Hang on, where are we? What's the sat say? I don't know.
I don't know where we are.
Oh no, we can't. This is ridiculous.
Well, it's over there because there's those orange buildings. So we want to go this way.
Well done. I feel relieved. Okay.
I do.
The Pearsons are back, and the Morris family can see it, but they just can't get there.
No, it's over there. It's
Yeah,
just
exactly. So
Can't
we
we
don't want to go down there. We need to go down there.
Are we sure? Are we sure it's the same as that?
After a slight detour, the Morrises finally make it back. But it's not the time that counts, it's the distance. Okay, teams, here's the results for game 1. And I've got to tell you, it was so close. There was 1.4 kilometres in it, which goes to show every turning counts. Even finding your way through the resort to get to here counts. So teams, please reveal your mileage. Every time a family lose a game, they lose a player from the final. At this stage, the Morrises have lost their first player. There's 3 more games to go, and Steve is disappointed.
We shouldn't have lost it. We shouldn't have missed that turning. And that's all it was.
When we're lost, you're always bossy.
I'm not bossy.
We're not lost.
I
Right.
just want to be clear.
That's just Steve, not even flying off the handle, just saying a comment that he'd do at home. But I don't take any notice of him. I never have done, I never will. So I don't think I'm going to start taking notice of him now.
If things start going wrong, me and Dawn will have a fight. I love you. I just ended up being the leader. Nothing was planned. My dad was supposed to be the leader, but he forgot his glasses. That's his excuse. Just because I think it was just because I was doing better than him. So he was scared of being embarrassed, so he relegated himself to the back seat.
So at the end of the first day, the families go out to dinner. With 1 game up, the Pearsons go out on a high.
1-0 to the mighty Blues. 1-0 to the mighty Blues.
And the Morrises still haven't put their defeat behind them.
A bit disappointed, but we did our best.
Has it knocked your confidence being beaten in the first game?
I'm not a bad loser, but just I don't like losing. And
Do you know what? You're allowed to be a bad loser in this
Yeah.
show. Just allowed. When you see what's at stake.
yeah, I'd rather lose by a mile than a yard. If we'd really gone wrong, I'd think, well, we don't deserve it. But to have lost by such a short distance, that sort of just hurts a little bit more, doesn't it? You know.
Because it was so close.
Across town, the Pearsons are still celebrating after today's victory.
So, team, 1 game up.
Yeah.
Wonderful. It's a good start, isn't it?
Couldn't ask for more.
Stuart, would you say you're the leader at home?
Depends on. It always depends on the situation, how dominant you should be, and how dominant you can be.
Yeah.
So, if it's something me dad or Dawn's better at, or Elaine, or Carol, then.
And we've yet to find that.
If it's something Elaine's better at, God help us.
Yeah. So, today when you first saw that apartment, how did you all feel?
And it's like getting a little key and opening up it. It's magical. It really is magical.
It's not your everyday place that you'd go on holiday to. So, I mean, a fortnight a year for the rest of our lives is something we really look forward to.
And the Pearsons head home just as happy as when they arrived.
Oh, when the Pearsons come marching in. Oh, when the Pearsons come marching in. In that number. Oh, when the Pearsons come marching in.
It's the start of day 2, and the Pearsons are still laughing and joking, while the Morrises head off, hoping to wipe the smile off their opponents' faces. For game 2, each member of the team will take it in turns to remove a glass from this tower. When the glass at the top falls, the game's over, and the family whose turn it is loses. Okay, Pearsons, lots of luck, and lots of luck, Morrises.
Okay.
Thank you. Being in the lead, the Pearsons go first, and Elaine gently walks up to take the first glass from the tower.
Doing all right. Slowly, Elaine. Well done, Elaine.
Well done. Put on the table.
On the table.
Well done.
Well done.
Elaine breathes a sigh of relief, while Roz steps up for the Morris family.
Well done, Roz.
Well done, Rosie.
Well done.
Yeah, well done.
A confident Roz removes the Morrises' first glass, and after several more goes, the tower is beginning to thin out.
Yeah, this is that.
Well done.
Stuart safely removes another glass.
That has left it terribly unstable.
As always, the Pearsons make fun of a pressured situation, while the Morrises are taking it deadly serious, especially Steve.
Go on, Dawn.
Nice and easy. Not on that plank.
Take your time.
But is Dawn making the right choice?
Put a slight angle on it. That's it.
Well done,
Slowly
Dawn.
back. Slowly
Slowly
back.
back.
Well done, Dawn.
It's getting wobbly now.
An unstable tower and a tricky decision for Trevor.
You've got to turn it slightly, very gently. Gently, Trev, gently down. Oh, gently down, gently, gently, gently. Tip it slightly out. Brilliant.
Right,
Very
let it come
careful.
on the table.
Slowly.
On the table, down she goes.
Relief for the Morrises. But now it's Carol's turn.
Nice and slow. Easy does it. Just careful. No, just keep it straight for the moment. Slowly, you're doing well. Slowly, just slowly, keep going. slowly, Just slowly. keep going, Carol. You're all right. Keep going. Slowly back. Slowly back.
Didn't like that at all.
The tower is now severely weakened, and the Morrises desperately need to win this game to draw level with the Pearsons.
Oh my God.
Hang on, Rachel. That one. Why
Do you
that
think?
one?
Because I just think it's going to...
But take sure if you're going to take that, take the right hand one, darling.
Do which one you
Yeah,
want
go
to
on.
do, darling.
All right.
Whichever one you think.
Nice and steady. Steady coming back. Very steady coming back.
She's done it. Really steady.
Yeah, on the table, the glass.
Rachel's success gives Dawn major problems, with few remaining choices.
Take your time.
Slowly. 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 It's okay. Take the two if you have to. Just go. Keep going. You've got no choice now.
That's going to go with that.
Okay. Slowly. Take it. Slowly. It's okay. Let it go. Slowly back.
That was tough showing that one.
Well done.
Oh, God. I thought that was a way.
With so few glasses at the base of the tower, Trevor can't afford to make a single mistake.
It's really going to slant that now.
It's going to make it really difficult.
Do you want to go round a bit, Trev? You want to go round a bit so you take...
Go on, angle it down. Go. Gently, 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 gently.
On the table as quick as you can.
Cool as always, Trevor saves the Morrises again.
Oh, man.
Can Jim keep the Pearsons' hopes alive?
It's quite shaky anyway.
Yeah, I am.
Nice and slow, Dad. Nice and... Not too fast, not too fast.
Take it easy.
Slowly. Keep going. Alright, alright. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Goes up, goes. Keep going. Keep it going. You're alright. You're alright. It's alright.
Come on, team.
Yes, please. That's good. You have to go, Cameron.
You've won your first game. Well done. Well done. That was so tense.
Yeah.
And
That
to
could
see
have
it go
gone.
that far.
Yeah.
It could have been either.
Four
Whoever.
back, we thought. No one's going to get another one. And they did.
We just needed that game back so badly.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Morrison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
So after the second game, both teams have lost a player from the final. And they're all relieved the stressful game is over.
That was major. That was such an important game for us. If we'd lost that going into it this afternoon, 2 games to go, 2 games down, we could have been in serious trouble.
Oh my God.
And my nerves just went, as usual, to my stomach. I just felt sick. I had tummy ache. But this was all happening while it was going on. And, you know, but you've got to just carry on.
Every time somebody went to pull a glass, I wanted to hide behind Trev. And that's what I do. I couldn't bear to watch.
You've done it.
Really steady.
On the table, that glass.
Now we've won a game, I feel we're both even. It's almost like we started all over again, and now we can just go for it again and maybe have a second chance and win the next game.
Oh dear.
I'm just glad I'm not in their team because I think they're serious. I would be a nervous wreck. You know, you've got to have a giggle, and you do it. It takes the edge off the games. That wasn't me, it was a plank.
I know, no need to call us that.
It's all right.
I feel better that it was me than any of the others, because I think it would have affected them more than myself. Blame me.
Between now and the next game, it's a case of building the confidence of making sure everyone's going in with a level head. Don't dwell on the last game, focus on the next game.
This is game 3. On the beach is a tube that the families must fill with seawater. But the only way they can get the water from the sea to the tube is by soaking it up with 5 sponge balls, which they must throw across the trenches. The team that fills the tube in the quickest time wins the game. The families have 1 minute to decide how to split their teams.
3 sea people, 1 each in the middle.
2-2-1.
I think you only need one there, don't you?
You definitely only need one at this end.
And you only need one at that end, because if there's only one at
The
this
Pearsons are debating their strategy,
end at the same time.
while Steve takes charge of the Morrises.
Two runners, and I would suggest Trevor goes in the middle.
So do I.
Because Trevor's a good catcher and a good thrower.
Yeah,
I would suggest you run and get the water.
Yeah.
I would suggest Rachel goes with you. And I would suggest you
at the
ride.
end. Perfect.
The Pearsons have decided to have 3 team members collecting the water, with Dawn in the middle passing the balls to Stuart, who alone is going to fill the tube.
You go again. Ram the ball in.
The Morrises are playing a different lineup, with Ross and Rachel collecting the water, Trevor bridging the gap, and Steve and Alison filling the tube.
Yeah, no, you go.
2 very different strategies, but which one will prove to be the best?
The ball in.
Already, Stuart has lost a ball in the trench. Accurate throwing is crucial if they don't want to gain any time penalties.
Whoa.
Bad luck for the Pearsons. If they enter the trench to retrieve the balls, they incur a 30-second time penalty.
God, I'm covered in muck. Can you take it back? I'm knackered. Come on, keep it going.
Unbelievably, they make another mistake. This time, it's outside Dawn's reach. She enters the trench and incurs that 30-second time penalty. Fatigue has set in. Pace is slowing right down.
Come on, think of the apartment. I knew I should have been a runner. I tell you.
Get on with it. Pointless whinging now.
The Morris family are also finding it hard going, with Roz and Rachel doing most of the hard work.
Keep going, Rachel, keep going.
Come on.
Okay, it's going to take ages. You've got to be squeezing more out than this. No, we've messed up, really.
Trevor thinks they've made a mistake and should have had an extra person collecting seawater, the same as the Pearsons have done.
Made a mistake. We need another one running, really.
I'm going to do this one, give it on back to Trevor.
Don't worry, just keep going.
Come on, think of the apartment, Elaine. Keep
Dawn does her best to motivate the Pearsons, but they are clearly flagging.
I'm ready.
And they've only filled half the tube.
Miles to go. Halfway there. Okay, let's stop. Keep going, Carol. Think of the apartment.
They really need to change their tactics to stand any chance of winning.
That is a chain, not better. That's right, though.
Tell them to set up a supply chain now that there's only 3.
Try your chain. Give their legs a break, Dad. Use your arms and steady your legs for a little while.
Someone halfway between.
That's it. That's better. Give the legs a break. Oh my God.
The Morrises are still unhappy with their performance.
Ali,
Stay.
quickly.
And everyone's getting a bit tetchy.
Let's go with one. Quick, go with one. Go with one. Just go with one.
Despite their bad move, they're making some really good progress.
2/3 of the way.
But Roz isn't terribly impressed.
Another one when you're ready, Ali.
All right. Come on, Elaine. Do it.
Keep it going.
The game's really taken its toll on the Pearsons, but through grit and determination, they're nearly there.
Nearly there. Come on. That's right.
Yeah, I know. Come on, Rosie.
All right.
Come on, 2 more, that's it. Rachel's last sprint. 7 there.
Rosie's back with 2, quick.
Come on, Trev, last. Those 2 will do. Those 2 will do it. Make sure, Roz.
Yeah.
Ali, I'll go with this one.
Go, and I'll go with this one. You're there. You're there.
We did that wrong.
Trevor is still pessimistic, but at least the agony is over.
On the last lap. Come on, Carol, keep going.
Come on, people. Couple more.
There's no giving up for Dawn as she pushes the Pearsons onto the finish.
Run, come on, run. Nearly there, not far now. Run, we're finished.
A determined effort from the Pearsons. But even before the results are given, the Morrises are convinced they've lost.
I'm not looking forward to it. I'd just rather get it over and done with. Let's get back.
At least you might have time to wash your hair tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, but tomorrow's another day, isn't it? I will be Yesterday, I was gutted we lost because we gave 100%, and all I've ever wanted to do is go out there and give it our all, and we've done that in every game. And today we did not. We failed badly.
Okay, teams, I've got the results for game 3. Pearsons, you completed the game in 22 minutes 41 seconds. Morrises, you completed the game in 13 minutes 39 seconds.
Oh my God.
Congratulations. So the Pearsons have lost their second game and their second player for the final. It's not been a good day for the Blues, and the stress has got to Elaine.
I was terrified of this.
I feel a little bit responsible for the team losing. But I think I maybe should have been in a different position. The position I was in was too physical.
She was trying her best, and that's what it's all about, try your best. But I do feel because she kept saying she was going to do some swimming for preparation and maybe some exercise and stuff, and she never got round to it. So I think she's just feeling guilt kicked in, and she did get a little bit upset.
And everyone's now going to say, I told you to calm down, but that is just how I am. I wanted to win. We won. I wanted to win well, I should say.
There was a lot of pride at stake today. That was the real reason why Roz got so wound up. Her pride was seriously at stake, and she wanted to win so much. So I'm glad that she did.
The strategy we chose, I would think was okay, but I think we should have formed that chain sooner.
This is working much better.
Well, there should have been 2 at the top, filling the water, and 2 at the bottom. And I just wish I'd had a running place. It's my strongest point.
I knew I should have been a run. Tell you.
Not our game.
So the second day draws to a close, and it's been a pretty awful one for the Pearsons. How you all feeling?
Quite happy as a family. And
Never mind.
Things happen.
Just get on with it. Things happen. Pick yourself up. Get on with it.
That's what your family seems to do a lot, isn't it? You know, when you feel... Yeah, I noticed that today. You know, when you've been beaten and stuff, you get together, you have a laugh. You take... Today, Elaine, you ended up laughing, didn't you? You ended up laughing, taking the mickey out yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what you
But
do.
that's
that's what life's all about, isn't it?
Ups and downs, isn't
Ups
it?
and downs, and you take the rough with the smooth and smile and bear through it.
Have you felt emotional at any stage, any of you?
I'd say there's not bonded us, especially me and you. Do you reckon?
Yeah, I've seen a big difference.
Have you seen us get on so well for so long?
No. I'll be honest, no.
Never in my life have I actually agreed with you. Never mind got on with you. I'm quite surprised at that.
So team, this time tomorrow night, you will know whether the apartment's going to be yours or not.
So because the apartment's already ours, isn't it?
Yeah. There's no losing with you, is there, Stuart? That's great.
Never ever has been with Stuart.
No.
Winner always
Not
like
get me today.
What games?
Well, Pearson's, lots of luck for tomorrow. Stay positive. And I'll see you bright and early.
Thank you very much.
See you.
It's never say die for the Pearsons, but how will the Morris family deal with today's success?
We won because it obviously wasn't their sort of game.
Yeah.
We didn't win because we played well, because we didn't. I don't think we did. We all say the strategy was wrong.
It's always easy afterwards, isn't it, when you say, you know, we should have done this, we should have done that. And, you know, at the end of the day, guys, you won the game.
I don't agree that we got the strategy wrong. I was so tired and I didn't think we'd won. Just because I expected that someone would be able to sprint up, sprint back, sprint up, sprint back. Well, we couldn't. But I don't think we got it massively wrong. But just winning something was enough for me, really.
Last night we came out and we were 1-0 down. Tonight we've come out, we're 1 up, which is totally the reverse of the previous evening. But it's all about tomorrow, so we can't get too excited.
You're very diplomatic, aren't you?
Oh, I'm a bit boring like that.
You should be going, yes!
Rosie will be asleep by now.
It's an early night for the subdued Morrises, but the Pearsons have other plans.
Yeah, they seem like quite a bubbly sort of family. I would have thought they'll be out tonight.
I think, to be honest, I probably think they'll probably have an early night as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
They seem more of a fun sort of family.
Yeah, but nothing. Tonight we haven't been out partying and late, but it's still 12 o'clock.
Yeah, but we're a boring kind of fast chap, that's probably why.
Reach for the stars. Come every mountain higher. Reach for the stars. And when that rainbow's shining over you.
Give me a round of applause.
It's the morning of day 3, and by the end of the day, one of the families will have won this dream apartment, and both teams are feeling the pressure.
I was having palpitations when I got into bed. My heart was beating so fast.
And the gladiators enter the ring. Here we go.
Just like yesterday, the Morrises are keen to get on with the game.
Let's go, team. Lucky socks, Carol. Yeah, lucky socks.
She may have her lucky socks on, but will the Pearsons' late night affect their performance?
Late night last night again, but another early morning. So it all just seems to be catching up.
From the other family, like I say, I've been saying all along, you know, you look over, they just seem really serious, and they don't seem to like smile or laugh, or they're really taking this very seriously. I can't imagine them knowing the word fun.
Very apprehensive. I just want to pull myself together and just get on. I just want today over with.
None of us are feeling overly sort of comfortable this morning. It's a big day. Do or die today, one way or the other. It's gonna go.
This is game 4. Teams must transport all 5 members of the family across the pool using these floats and this plank. The team that does it in the quickest time wins the game. Straight away, the Morrises get Steve and Trevor onto the first float.
Steve, your feet in water.
Knees off. Dad, knees off the plank.
Thank you. Right, now you need to get up to that other one.
Both families need to get their floats lined up at the far end of the pool so that they can get off at the green finishing line. This game requires logic and a good sense of balance, because if someone falls in, they have to go right back to the beginning. A close call for Stuart. In this challenge, the Pearsons are at a disadvantage because Carol is absolutely petrified of water.
Move along with us.
At this point, both teams are employing the same strategy with the men on the first float.
Now take the plank.
Make sure. Get over. Make sure.
I want somebody on both ends for me.
No problems for Stuart this time.
Donnie, get hold of the rope and stop it bending.
And Jim is definitely in charge.
Come on.
Get off.
Whereas Rachel seems to be calling the shots for the Morrises.
Now what?
Now-
Take that back and get.
You need to get over there.
Alice.
You and Lizzie.
Right.
No, you can't. You need the plank, Dad.
Dawn's joined Stuart on the second float, and they head off for the third float, taking the plank with them. The Morrises have a different idea. Trevor and Roz take off for the third float, while Alison joins Steve on the first.
Now, following thread. Following thread.
Yes, go.
Dawn quickly crosses to the third float.
Back. Dawn.
Jim's in his element, directing the Pearsons like a general.
Wait, get hold of the rope. Get on the lane.
Come on, quick.
Take the plank.
The Pearsons have been doing well up to this moment, but now it's time for Carol to get on board the first float.
Carol, to me.
Wearing a life jacket and goggles, can she conquer her fear?
No, you're all right. Go all the distance. Go all the distance.
There's a lot more toing and froing with the Morris family as they make their way back up the pool to the fourth float.
Oh, this.
All right.
Stop. I'm Rosie and Steve getting over.
Okay, right, Rachel.
All
You go
all
across.
right.
You go across to.
Despite her fear, Carol is doing well.
With the board,
Move,
the
Stuart.
tail.
Keep hold of that.
Stuart and Carol make their way to the last float, while the rest of the Pearson family watch and wait.
Do you know what? We can all get down to that last one. Can I go? Yes, go. We'll catch up with you. I don't know.
Roz and Rachel take off for the last float.
Everybody up the Rosie, quick.
Alison seems to have taken charge of the Morrises' strategy.
That's what I said, we could have all gone up there.
But instead of moving one float like the Pearsons, they're moving the whole family, which could cost them valuable time, as the finishing line is at the other end of the pool.
We'll just stay. We'll get over. One of you get over. One of you get over, and we'll all paddle back to that last thing, and we'll just pass the thing back.
Get yourself in line with the queen, Carol.
Jim's plan suddenly becomes clear. He's got a family member on each float, and now all they have to do is to pass the plank and get everyone off as soon as possible. The Morrises are on the move again. They need to get back down to the narrow end of the pool.
Stop there, Rosie, stop. You've got to stop further, a bit further, go a bit further.
Look, get on.
Stop there, Rosie, stop there. Right, stop, go back a bit, go back a bit.
Do you know what? We're a bit stuck here because Rosie needs Rosie, you're going to need that, and she won't be able to pass it back over.
Yes, she could. I know, because you get over as much as you
Go
can.
on, you get.
Jim has the end in sight.
Quick,
But if they rush it now, it could all end in tears.
You're doing well. In the flank, come on. Elaine again.
Elaine again.
Come on, quick.
At last, the Morrises have got everyone in line, so now it's just a race against time.
Right, now the plank's to you.
No, come on then.
And then the plank's to Rosie, yeah?
Come on, get.
Carol off. Get the plank.
Plank back to me.
Quick, get the
Plank
plank
back
back.
to me.
Carol's off and her ordeal is over.
Well done.
You're off. Rachel, go on, mate.
Roz is also off, and both teams now make rapid progress.
George, get the plank off.
But the question is, which team did it the quickest?
Come on.
Okay, teams, I've got the results for game 4. Morris's, you made great time. You completed the game in 10 minutes, 16 seconds. Well done. Pearson's, you also made great time. You completed the game in 7 minutes, 41 seconds. Well done. So at the end of game 4, the Morrises have lost a second player, which means both teams go into the final with 3 players each.
Personally, I feel elated that the whole team's had a lift after the disappointments of yesterday. I mean, I don't know if it was the karaoke that got us through, bonded us as a team. I mean, 'cause that game was teamwork.
Carol was so brave. I thought she was really, really brave.
She just did so well. So proud of her. Because she's absolutely terrified of water.
I feel like I've contributed something to the team because I was really worried I was really going to let them down, and that would have been awful.
Carol! Carol, up!
I've never seen Carol anywhere near water in the 8 years I've known her. She's never been swimming with us or to a swimming pool. The nearest she gets to water is in the bath, and when she's in the bath, her head does not go under that water.
That game was our game. It was a bit more of a thinking game. You had to think about it. You had to direct it. And I think we blitzed them.
We're going to wipe everything out of our heads now. Good, bad, all the things that have happened. Because nothing now will change the amount of players that we have or the outcome of the game.
We want to pick that prize up. We're not here just for the fun of it, to get a bit of sun and to have a few days away. We're here to win, and we will be doing our absolute damnedest this afternoon to bag that final event.
Okay, teams, this is the final. Whoever wins this game wins the apartment. Now in this bag, I've got 5 keys, but only 1 key will open the door. In a minute, I'm going to give you a chance to have a look around. Then I'm going to ask you a series of questions which you must answer from memory, based on everything you've seen. If you get a question right, you get to pick a key. If the key opens the door, the apartment's yours. Well, teams, you both lost 2 games each, which means you lose 2 players. Pearson's, who you're going to lose and why?
After a discussion, decided on Elaine and Carol to drop out, pass the book on to us 3.
Why is that?
Well, I'm not very good at remembering things. I can't remember anything in my own house where I put things, so I think that's a wise decision.
Okay. Morris's, who you're going to lose and why?
Decided that Roz and Alison are going to be the 2 that bow out, and Rachel, Trevor, myself.
Why is that?
Can't stand anymore.
It was more the girls' decision than ours.
And you girls have had enough stress.
We haven't got good memories.
Really?
Steve has got a wonderful memory.
I think we're the only 3 that have got the bottle to do it. These 2 have had it now.
Well, just remember, all the questions are going to be based on everything you've seen. So use your time wisely, concentrate, because what you remember could be the difference between winning or losing this apartment. So it just takes the right question and the right key. Good luck, everyone.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Start over, all right?
The teams have just 5 minutes to memorise as much as they can inside the apartment.
Let's give this a fridge.
Thank you.
Okay, teams, you've had a chance to have a look around the apartment now, and your teammates who aren't taking part are inside, but they know everything that's going on, and I'm sure they're wishing you well. Remember, you get a question right, you get to pick a key. If the key opens the door, the apartment's yours. So you're both level pegging with 3 players. I'm going to toss a coin to see who gets the first question. Pearson's your heads, Morris's your tails. It's heads. Okay, Pearson's, you got the first question, and here it is. How many spotlights are there above the dining room table?
didn't look up.
I didn't look up.
I'll go for 6 because there's 6 people sitting at the table.
No, I wouldn't go that many.
I'm going for 4. You're definitely going for 4.
Go on then.
You think? To guess?
Why didn't I look up?
Because we didn't.
Come on.
Guess.
Is it not just directly above the dining room table? Is it not just 2? It's only a 4-seater table. Is it not just 2?
6-seater table.
No, it's only 4.
It's a big table though. Team answer.
Go with your feeling then.
Go
It's
on.
going to be pure guess.
Pure guess. Good feeling 4.
Team guess?
Team guess. Or dad guess.
Directly above the dining room table, there's 4 spotlights. Pearson's good guess. Who's going to pick your first key?
Stuart.
Now, Stuart, remember, if this key opens the door, the apartment's yours. Lots of luck.
Thank you.
If we were going to lose, that's the way we wanted to lose. That's fine, absolutely fine. The stress level is just been horrendous, but it's been brilliant. And you know, they're a nice family.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, we've got 2 nice families.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Lovely families this show, and you've been great fun. Well done.
Thank you.
You've been brilliant
Thank you.
sports.
No, we've had a brilliant time.
And you girls are gorgeous. Have a safe trip home.
Yeah,
Take
thank you.
care. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, Pearson. Congratulations.
We are the
champions. Come and sit down. Come on.
Oh, God. I can't believe it.
Oh, what a shock.
what a
Best
shock.
key, you all right, Dawn?
Oh, that was getting me.
What an
nearly died,
unbelievable few days you guys have had, eh?
Yeah.
It has been unbelievable.
You've been in the water. You two are best mates again. You're the karaoke queen. Yeah. How are you feeling?
So exciting.
After yesterday on
when
the
do I
demo.
wake up?
Yeah.
Unreal.
Can you believe this place is yours?
It hasn't sunk in yet.
We're relieved it's over.
We are.
It's been so
Close.
all the way. We didn't even have a chance to play in the final, which was disappointing.
When I put my hand in the bag, I had three in my hand. I felt my thumb along, and I thought, oh, what do I do here? So I picked the middle one.
Believe what happened on the first attempt. I thought, oh, it's going to go on and on.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't believe that it happened. That
I couldn't believe it either.
couldn't believe it.
When the little green light came on.
It's been really eventful for you too, hasn't it? You said you went very close before you came away. You've become a lot closer now, haven't you?
Now I hold the key.
Dawn, you'll have to be right next to him for the rest of your life now.
Oh dear.
So this is yours, guys.
Cheers, yes.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I will look back on this experience and think, as I always do when I get myself in such a dreadful state, why can't I just be more laid back and enjoy it? But I don't think I'm ever going to change.
To winning.
To winning.
To winning.
If this key